You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the May 3rd, 2023 meeting of the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Michigan City Park Board meeting of May 3rd, 2023. If you could please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Shannon, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Lackford.
Here.
Mr. Freeze.
Here.
Mr. Wood.
Here.
Mrs. Spurling. Here.
All right, the minutes from our April 5th meeting were prepared, or April 5th, April 19th were prepared and presented in advance of the meeting. So unless there's edits or corrections, you have a motion to approve?
Move that we accept the minutes as printed.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Any project updates tonight?
No, sir.
Under old business, we have two items. One is to accept quotes for the golf cart storage barn, and the other is approval of the contract for the golf cart storage barn. So did we receive any quotes?
We did not receive any quotes.
Okay. Is there anyone here to present a quote? All right, seeing none. Will we have to move into the phase where we did before and send out requests to certain contractors asking them for proposal?
So
We did that similarly to another project earlier this year when we didn't get any bids.
that might have been Shannon Schultz.
So we need to make these repairs, correct?
Yes.
So I think we probably just have to go down that path. Unless there's any other suggestions or
No,
comments.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if we need to take any official action on that, considering we didn't receive any bids. It was just documented that we didn't. So there's, that was a 5A, 5B. There's no need to go on to 5B since there's no bids. Any other old business?
No, sir.
Thank you. Any tabled business?
No, sir.
Thank you. That brings us to new business, and the first is the first quarter report for the park department. Questions or comments from the board?
You have some? Okay.
Only comment, the senior center looks like their attendance is improved and the females outnumbered the males 2-1.
Never a better time to join, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a few questions. On page 3 at the very bottom, it's kind of a question for you, Pat. Well, maybe. It said that you help with repairs to the gaps on the roof of the new cat exhibit. With that being brand new, is that something that we're doing already? Is stuff to that? Or was there a guarantee on all that new construction?
Good evening. Welcome.
Patrick Bolts, park maintenance. After they were complete with their project, Jamie had some concerns that a small animal, small bird could still get in. So it wasn't for the animals that were on the inside, but it was to keep other animals out.
Okay.
So we just helped tighten the gaps a
Okay,
little
so
bit.
no big deal.
No.
Yeah, nothing structural. Okay.
Right.
I got one more question for you, actually. On the, let's see, page 5 at the top, the trails upkeep. So I saw the increase in the labor hours was mostly due, of course, to Singing Sands. I was just curious. I mean, is that part, were we given like an increase in our budget because of the Singing Sands and all the work you guys are going to have to do on that with everything?
At one point, we kind of have a split responsibility with the other departments. But whenever we can, we're just trying to keep it off the other departments. It's easier for us.
Yeah.
And if need be, then we can get street or someone else involved with us as well.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. But as far as like big picture, is that maybe that's more you?
And I'm sure when budget time comes around, Shannon will, account for that.
Yes, we will be adding money particularly for repairs to fencing
Mhm.
in our 2024 budget, which will.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Pat. On page 12, with the zoo, I saw that the supplies went up this last year or this quarter compared to last quarter by $22,000, which was a 204% jump. I mean, I know that there's increases in the food, which, of course, Jamie has said, but is this, does anyone know the reason for that? Why that's so last year it was $11,000 and this year it's almost 34,000.
I think that's explained better in the full financial report. I think it was for household items, they purchased in different orders.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, say for instance, they have a $10,000 household supply order annually. Sometimes they run out first quarter, sometimes
I
they run
getcha.
out the third.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that would account for that, and that is.
Okay. That's probably the same answer for my next one. Is that workers' comp that's always so high and well paid in different quarters, but also not really in proportion to the salary. So workers' comp runs like 20 in each department, 22% of total salaries, 37%, 19%, 63%. And that's not how much workers' comp should cost. So I know, Phil, you and I have talked about this before. Is that something that's more of a controller question? Or you said they spread it out over other city departments into us?
It's an allocation from the controller's office.
Yeah, it's huge.
So I think it's a fair question for the controller to get some sort of allocation method
Yeah,
or
yeah.
documentation, how that's being allocated.
Okay. I mean,
Make sure it's fair among all.
yeah, I mean, especially after last year with just all of our departments where everyone had such a loss because of the increases of everything. So, okay. Oh, on page 17, what is this? There's like mostly zeros here. What is this? Department 503, Park Recreation. Of course, it has a workers' comp figure and nothing else.
That's because we didn't have any programs.
Oh, that's what that is, the programs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is our recreation budget for like day camp.
Okay, gotcha.
Um,
And another just general comment, the benefits section of all the departments except for senior center had huge increases. Did that change as far as the city benefits just in general? Because I know everyone's pretty much treated the same, but like,
Insurance increase, again, these are all allocated by our controller's office. But departments that have longer term employees, their benefits are going to go up because like your vacation bonus is paid at 1%, 2%, or 3%, depending on years of service. Your longevity is paid for every 3 years of service. So once employees cross that 3-year threshold or 6 years or 9, it jumps up. So yeah, the departments have the longer term employees are going to have a higher cost.
okay.
As far as the insurance, so all insurance is allocated through the controller's office. We have no control.
Yeah. Okay. And page 28 with the golf revenue, it said there were 0 days open, but there was revenue. Some maybe is that memberships? Maybe. Okay. Okay, so those are my questions in general, but I was wondering with all the increases that came up last year with supplies and salaries and things like that. As far as the revenue side of what we receive from property taxes and the other avenues, is that going to increase, or do we have any negotiating power with that?
No, so the property tax are divvied up. Right, you might know how this works a little bit better than I do. But there is a percentage allocation that goes to Park and Rec. And with the property tax caps, I really don't see us getting a large increase. Is that pretty much correct?
Yeah, the way the revenues work is the controller's office is going to get information that'll come from the county and other places, and eventually she'll take these numbers and collaborate those and put them all together and find out exactly what we have in revenues, and then there's, allocations to cover expenses and things like that. She does do her budget first, where she does figure out the revenue before, she allows the budget process to go forth, because she don't want to have expenses come to her and then try to match revenue. So she'll say revenue, this is what we have, this is what we can spend. But a lot of information comes from a bunch of different places before she actually figures out what we get in terms of revenue.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Questions from the public? Seeing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
Well, usually we table it, but that's, I don't think necessary, so,
Yeah, we've kind of stopped
no.
tabling it since we never got comments from the public.
Well, I move we accept the first quarter report for 2023.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Right now, we have legal notice to bidders for the greenhouse lease, which expires in 2024, April of 2024. And this is the building that is right on the entrance of Washington Park, where it's currently being leased by the Harbor County
Harbor Country.
Harbor Country. So his lease is expiring, and this is the process we have to go through to renew it.
I would like to add, we did receive 2 appraisals. And the bid notice has been approved by our attorney, Laura Nurnberg.
Thank you for that, Shannon. Any questions or comments from the board? Questions from the public? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve the bid notice for the 2024 greenhouse lease?
Well, I would move we accept the legal notice to bidders as printed here.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, now we have the Jennifer Osmond Beach Yoga request.
Yes, Jennifer apologized. She can't be here today. She's a teacher in Lansing, Illinois. One of her students is in a big spelling bees tonight. She couldn't make it. But she is, she's proposing to do 3 yoga classes down in Washington Park on Sundays. It would be July 2nd, 16th, and 30th from 8 to 9 a.m. She'd be charging $20 per student for the 1-hour class. We're not giving her exclusive use, nor are we doing registrations. So typically, if we are doing either of those, we would charge the person to host the program in the park, but she's really just doing it in the green space. So this is our standard template that was approved last year for programs, and she will supply a certificate of liability insurance and have her participants sign the attached waivers.
Thank you, Shannon. Questions?
Shannon, is that $20 per hour or per the 3 hours? Per session?
Correct.
Didn't she have something similar last year?
We did.
Beach?
Yeah.
Was it successful? Must have been. She's back.
If this is a different person.
Oh, it's not the same person.
No, we've had many yoga programs over the years.
Is this, when she said it's on the whatever side of the building, does that mean she's on the beach side or is she on Fetters Alley? She's on the beach side. Yeah. And I know you said she's going to supply the insurance, but like for this person, do we, I don't know, check any references on her or anything like that, like her employer's phone, or
Yeah,
maybe we should just,
Google her.
what's that?
We can Google her.
Yeah, we can.
If you're on Facebook.
Let's stalk her.
What about parking?
Participants pay the regular parking fee.
They do, okay.
I see her times are 8 to 9. Is that before we start charging? Is 8 o'clock?
Turning at 8.
At 8. Okay. Oh, that's right.
Questions or comments? Questions from the public? See none, do I have a motion to approve the Jennifer Osmond Beach Yoga?
I would move that we allow Jennifer Osmond program to take place on the dates indicated.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, next up is the Sunset Grill request for lower patio bar seat.
Thank you, Mr. Lashford.
You're welcome.
Representatives of the Sunset Grill are asking the park board to approve their proposal to create a designated area designed for seating patrons adjacent to the concession bar on the lower level of North Point Pavilion. An area of 486 square feet, this seating area would be partitioned with removable planters and is illustrated by their drawings you have received for review. The seating area, if approved by the board, will be brought before the Indiana Excise for their approval. And I recommend your approval of this bar seating area.
Thank you, Ed. Questions or comments from the board?
I think it's a good thing. People from the beach can come up and sit in a shaded area to get out of the hot sun once in a while, have a libation. I think it'll add to the attractiveness of the area. Plus, it's stated in here that if that area is rented, they will make room for it.
I had a couple questions. I think it's a great idea too. I think it's gonna look really good down there. The issue with excise, is that even an issue? Because it's already designed to have alcohol within the area? Because there's a
That's a good
sign
question.
at each location.
I think any
Ex-
modification though of any drinking
That's what I'm
area
wondering.
property
Okay.
should be ran by.
I think it definitely should be run by them, but I didn't know if there was any, is it? Okay.
We sell food and alcohol and drinks. Food also available.
Yeah.
Here. Everybody should have everybody. That's all.
Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. I'm Julia Kraus with Sunset Grill.
Okay, so the excise, so are they scheduled to come out to take a look at it, or did?
I will schedule it once you approve.
Okay,
But they've currently scheduled the gated area, so any increase outside of that, they have to come back and reapprove that.
the gated area, the little gates by the bar there, you're saying?
Yeah, currently where the bar is, there's
Right.
gates.
Yeah.
So those will come down and then the planter boxes will go around that.
Oh,
So
okay.
they will have to approve that.
Okay, gotcha. In that area that you're creating, is it required to purchase from the bar to sit in that area? Or is that an area that's going to be open to the public, like anyone who's in that pavilion, or how will that work?
It will be open to anybody that's in the pavilion age 21 or over. So it will be marked that you have to be 21 to enter that area.
Okay,
So, and it will just, I mean, there will be 3 or 4 tables.
okay. Mhm.
It won't be a very large area.
Yeah. And is that pavilion area, is there normally many people in there in the summertime, or is it?
Yes, mainly the concession goers
Mhm.
will go sit down and eat.
Okay,
And then this just kind of gives them a little separation, you know, if they're just adults away from the families.
yeah,
I mean, you can still see everything, but it just makes it a little cozier
Yeah.
for those bar goers.
okay. Yeah, my only concern with that was that it would take away from, I don't know how busy it is in that area, so, but it won't take away from the public having room to sit.
No.
Yeah, okay. And then what are the hours and days of the operation of the bar being open and?
It will be Tuesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. We will not open the bar until noon on Sundays.
Yeah.
And then it'll be 11 a.m. till 3 p.m.
Oh, that's all.
The upstairs rooftop opens then at 4.
Oh, okay, okay. So then my next question was, can people sit there when it's not open? When you're
They
not
can-
serving?
They can sit there.
Yeah.
It's still an open public area.
Okay, so it's not gonna be gated off
No.
like that. It's just the planter boxes just create the.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. All right. That's good. And then I had a request and I haven't talked to anyone about this, but I thought, if we could, when you report your monthly sales, if you could report those separate, because in all of our pretty much departments in the park department, like for example, the zoo, their concessions is separate from the bird sticks and the gift shop and the, feeders for the goats and things like that. It's just kind of with the park department, we separate out if we rent how many fences and how many picnic tables and.
Yeah, I
things
will
like
make
that.
sure our accountant sends them separately to you.
Okay, great.
Are you wanting it just for that bar area or are you wanting alcohol separate from food? Because they already submit it that way. But are you saying for that 400 square foot area, you want the sales separated out?
Oh yeah, bar and food. So that like what's going, like people who are getting drinks and going to that bar, because that's separate then. So you have your
Well,
concessions.
currently it's with the upstairs as well.
It's all lumped in together.
It's all lumped into one. We
Yeah.
can separate it.
I
That's
think that
not
would
a
be
problem.
great. Yeah, that'd be great.
Because it is separated on our POS system.
Okay, cool. Like the upstairs food, downstairs alcohol, downstairs. You can separate it like that.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. That's all I have.
Any other questions or comments?
Oh, shoot.
Good luck.
I had one more. I'm so sorry. The maintenance of it, that's something that you'll upkeep, or is that on the city or is
We
it?
will upkeep it.
Okay,
We will set it up.
cleaning and,
We will clean it. We will plant the flowers. We
Yeah.
will do everything with it.
okay, cool. Thank you.
Any other questions? Questions from the public? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the request for lower patio seating?
I would move we accept the Sunset Grill request for lower patio bar seating.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Good luck. I
Yeah.
imagine it'll be a success. I hope it will be. You're welcome. All right, now we'll address the Arctic Fox repair project, change order number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Latchford.
You're welcome.
At the Michigan City Zoo, the Arctic Fox exhibit is being repaired, mostly to the concrete masonry. There's a new door that will be replacing the old door. However, there is a window in the back of the exhibit that was painted black in the year it was built, probably in the mid-40s. This is a change order that will actually reduce the contract amount because the contractor would much rather see the city or the park department take care of the lead testing and what to do with the window if lead is found. So just briefly, lead was found on the window that was painted many years ago. I spoke with a consultant from Kill Engineering, and Kill Engineering suggested that I encapsulate the window paint without any surface prep, and also specified the materials, and the change order will be decreased if you approve by the amount of $1,300. And I checked with our Zeus director, and our staff can certainly paint this for quite a bit less. So I'm asking the board to approve this change order to reduce the contract price.
Thank you, Ed, and for the explanation. That makes it perfectly clear, at least to me, what you're doing. So I appreciate that. Questions or comments from the board?
I forgot about, I mean, I remember the name of this, project, but is that the total just for the window?
Well, that was the total for surface prepping the window and using a rust-free, rust-inhibiting paint.
Mhm.
And that was inside and outside, and that was caulking with a very good caulk, yes.
I imagine it may have anticipated some asbestos,
Um,
and then you have all these containment measures you have to go through.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they probably backed off and said, you guys want to do it,
Yeah.
we'll deduct it.
Got
The
it.
process would have been abatement if it were in front of the public or near the animals, but this window is located in the back where it's not near any animals or people.
Yeah, okay. Crazy.
Any other questions or comments? Questions from the public? See none. What's the pleasure of the board? Move we accept the change order.
Second it?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, items F and G are on the agenda and were regarding restoration licenses for Lakeshore Drive. But we have been asked to table those. Is that still the case?
That's correct, Mr. Lecter.
Item H as well.
FGH.
Thank you for that, F, G, and H. So do we have a motion to table? Will they be ready for next meeting? Do you
Yes, they
anticipate?
will.
Thank you. Do you have a motion to table item F, G, and H until our May 17th meeting?
I would move we table items F, G, and H dealing with restoration licenses.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, there's one other item that isn't on the agenda that Mr. Glidden would like to discuss in regard to Washington Park security.
I'd like to talk about Washington Park, police presence at Washington Park. I think we need to pay to have police there in the park. And I propose, I'm gonna make a motion that the park board approve up to $70,000 to pay for police presence in the park. My thoughts are that we would indeed hire 2 officers at $70 an hour, 4 hours. That would be $560 a night. And from May 13th to September 4th, there's 114 nights. We paid them at $560 per night. That would be $63,840. That would be less than 10% of the parking receipts that we took in last year. So after discussion, I intend to move that we approve up to $70,000 to pay for after duty officers from 7 to 11. But I don't want to restrict if Chief Forker decides on different hours or a different pay rate or something. I think that we need to make a known that we want to make a monetary contribution to increase security in the park and ask the Port Authority to join in if they wish. And I think we need to make the Washington Park more secure.
Thank you, Mr. Glidden. I'll just add a few items. We did check with Shannon to see if funds are available within the park department, and she responded that they're an unallocated balance, but that would take mayoral approval and city council approval to unencumber those funds and apply them to this effort. And then also, I think it'd be imperative if the board approves of taking those actions, that the next step would be for the superintendent to meet with police chief initially before we start down any other path to see if the rate of $70 an hour and the availability of police, if he thinks that may work. If he does, then I think the next steps would be to go down the path of the approval by the other entities. That's all I wanted to add. Questions or comments, discussion from the board?
I think it sounds great.
I think it's a good idea that we need to probably look at in depth.
With that, I'd like to make a motion that the park board approve up to $70,000 to pay for after duty officers and pay for it out of our parking receipts.
That's your motion. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
So, Mr. Shin, I would maybe if you could schedule an appointment with the police chief, let him know one of our intentions and our ability, and then get his feedback and then come back to us at the next meeting to see what action, if any action we can take.
Yes, sir.
Any other comments or
If I could
questions?
interject.
Please.
So, if this is feasible through the police department, the next step would be a resolution by this board seeking the additional appropriation that we would then take to the mayor, the controller, They will turn that into an ordinance and present it to the city council. I don't know. So Laura and I can draft the resolution based on what feedback is from the police department.
So if the feedback's positive, we could have the resolution for our May 17th meeting.
Correct.
Thank you.
Good. I just have a quick question on that. Does that include like the stop too, since is that considered Washington Park or is that?
I would leave that to the chief of how.
Yeah.
Utilize the officer.
Yeah.
I would assume that increased security would go there also.
Any other questions or comments?
I have a comment. Last meeting, I addressed the board and asked the board to please come up with some ideas, and I just want to thank everybody for their ideas and proposal.
Thank you, Mr. Glidden. All right, superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr.
Mr.
Lashley.
Shin, you're welcome.
This evening, I would like to report on the progress of the broken glass rail at North Point Pavilion and the fencing repair at Patriot Park. The glass railing is almost complete. The weather has been bad. They're just at the final stages of applying some caulk and some final cladding, and that will be complete, I'm sure, in the next few days because the weather is going to be better. The fencing at Patriot Park, all of the dangerous portions of the fencing or backstops, I should say, are repaired. Fencing at Patriot Park has been held up a little bit by weather. The contractor and the teams that play there and the BPA and NSA people have been accommodating to shift teams around. So everything's working well. I would say it's a little over 50% complete and should be completed in the next few weeks. I would also like to report that our youth baseball director, Kerry Kraczynski, has negotiated a plan with Michigan City area schools, Mr. Shaman, the athletic director, and all of the children and youth that are playing on the baseball this year will be invited to a baseball game at the high school to attend a high school game. It will be their senior night, and one parent will be allowed to attend as well. So thank you, Michigan City area schools. And this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Questions or comments?
Any vandalism?
No vandalism.
Super.
All right. We'll move on to liaison reports. On the planning commission liaison, we did have a meeting. It was largely unproductive and nothing pertaining to the board.
They know you still.
Yeah, we basically had one item on the agenda, and due to some technicalities, we couldn't address the item. All right, so next is a Port Authority liaison, Mr. Freeze.
Next week.
Thank you. And the Zoological Society, Mr. Glick.
The Zoological Society also meets next week, and but they do have Brew at the Zoo coming up on June 3rd from 5 to 8 p.m.
Thank you. Tickets still available, I would imagine.
The tickets are available at Eventbrite online, but I'm not sure if they're sold out.
Okay, thank you. Attorney's report tonight.
Nothing to report, Mr. Latchford. Thank you.
Thank you. Any director's reports?
No, sir.
All right, we'll go back to Mr. Glidden for department finances.
I have the claims docket for May 1st. Municipal, $31,834.61. Golf petty cash, $1,628.60. Total claims, $33,463.21. I would move that we pay these claims. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Payroll for 4/2/23 to 4/15/23, pay date 4/21/23. Total payroll $80,708.55. And I would move that we pay the payroll.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I have Department of Finance's gifts and donations. gift from John Prespolinski, donation for purchase of flowers, maintenance, $300. An anonymous donation for zoo donation for miscellaneous, $200. And I move that we accept those generous donations.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Are there any minor transfers?
There are no minor transfers, zoo endowment bills, board of works bill, or credit card checking.
All right. Well, that takes us to comments from the public. Any public comments? See none. Comments from the board? I just would like to congratulate Mr. Brian Dabney for his election
Yeah.
win last night.
Good job.
I'd like to thank Mr. Glidden for coming up with the figures and the proposal for police at the park.
Yeah.
Any other comments? All right, our next meeting is May 17th, 5 PM right here. You have a motion to adjourn?
So move.